Hi Pisces. I am so glad that I waited until today. I made the video a couple of times, but it just didn't feel right. Today is the South Node and Sun conjunction in Virgo across from you. You also have Saturn returning to your sign. In 2 days, there will be a South Node and Mercury conjunction renovations. It's all still happening. Messages, all kinds, dreams, texts. The past is calling, the future is showing you all sorts of pleasant visions. Something, somebody that you truly, with a good and peaceful heart, let go of. Maybe it stung all the way back then, but you've never really given it another thought. It comes back around. You are so open to receiving it because you have no opinion about it. Could be someone who's perfect for you if you're single, because they like you more than you like them. You need that. And you need to pull back into your most powerful state. You're going to become super receptive. There is no need to initiate, to chase, to even suggest anything. Not in terms of work, not in terms of romance, not even in terms of perhaps cooperating and squashing some beef or coming to some resolution about an argument that you may have had. You can be completely intractable, meaning you don't have to move an inch on anything. Just remember that this is only a powerful position to be in when you step back behind the moon, not while you're out in front of it engaged with the world. If you're engaged with the world and you don't, well, if you're in the world and you don't engage with it, that's ridiculous, but you're not in the world. You pull back, you find your power in Saturn returning. The Lord of Time returns to your sign. And what it does is it gives you, well, a very realistic timeline. Saturn says, I've gone a bit a ways to Aries. I've seen what could make you the most successful, what steps you should take. And until I give you that information, maybe just sit tight. Don't get pulled in by anyone, no matter what they're offering and no matter how good it might be for you. Let them do all the legwork. That's the safest way for you to proceed and the smartest. You are intensely open and receptive, just not willing to move an inch. Not willing to do anything for anyone when it comes to romance. You're just not in that space. You want only to receive love, adoration, attention. More than that, you really don't care for what is happening in that dynamic because you're just not sure in general of what's happening. You're letting it all flow to you, and it feels good, and it feels like something you used to be able to do perhaps a while ago. Your contract with this hologram feels like it's being renegotiated. I'll give you an example of what I mean, something very concrete. I think the mix of growing up in a bathroom with bad lighting and having intensely good-looking siblings when I was younger left me with a bit of body dysmorphia. It took me to find mirrors that I look good in to release myself from what construct I had created around my pain, inadequacy, whatever it was. The lens through which I saw myself had to change, and once it did, nothing could change it back. I felt better because the lens through which I see my life has completely and irrevocably altered the reality that I'm viewing. You have a chance here. You have a chance to renegotiate this contract, if you will, with your reality, with your current state of being. If you have been steady and stable, go ahead and renegotiate that. If there has been pain, if there has been solitude, nobody came to help you with that pain. Nobody called me in a crisis, right? This is your moment to renegotiate that contract and decide purposefully what lens or what mirror you would like to see yourself through, see this world through. In this way, the next 2 weeks become a very powerful time in any sort of work you want to do. You want to make your new mood board, perfect timing. You want to change your hair, try some new way of doing makeup. You want to take a trip, buy some piece of clothing in a color you never wear or a style you never wear. You will find as you go on this journey that you are actually coming closer and closer to a version of you that existed a while ago, when you were still a wee child, when you were a teenager. Maybe the last time you remember feeling free, feeling happy, because this is all symptomatic of a freedom that takes you over this fall. It's begun now with these eclipses, right? Excuse me. Now the reset has begun, and I think it takes you to a really pleasant place very quickly. From September throughout into mid-October, even late October, you are doing the delicious job of remembering. Remember how I was? Remember what I used to like? Remember what I used to wear? And if you have someone that you do this remembering with, friends, family, a partner, you hold them a little bit closer. If the person you reminisce with usually is no longer here, this is a little bit of a hard time, a little bit difficult. But what you can do in that instance, if you feel the loss of someone that knew you well. When my younger brother died, I felt like so much of what made me was gone because he's the only person that knew it or saw it or was witness to it or could back me up on it. You wouldn't believe me if you weren't there. But Ali was there. Ask him. So if you feel some loss around this time of not just reminiscing, but remodeling, renovating. If you feel some loss, use that as a divine push. Make that person, those people proud. You can still have those conversations. They're still listening and you can still talk. But don't be afraid of that reinvention or that reversion, if you will, with some added new perks, don't be afraid of it because you've lost a loved one, a relationship, a certain way that you used to look from back then. So you're like, no, I don't want to revisit that because it makes me think of when I was in love. It makes me think of when so-and-so was alive. It makes me think of when I was young, or whatever it is. Don't let those fears of what you were in the past keep you from going back there and gleaning the most important things, the way that you exhibited your freedom, the joy and the strength with which you expressed your opinion, the creativity and boldness with which you dressed yourself, right? Don't be afraid to go back there and grab all that, especially to have it on in time for this renegotiation, that goes on from now until mid-October. Don't be afraid to show up to this renegotiation as that avatar from back then, but who now has the added benefit of not having to rebel against anything to express themselves, because you are in fact free. You may be hearkening back at this time to a period in your life where you were not free. Excuse me. So much of what made you who you were, you had to hide in your head because you were not free to express it for whatever reason. Okay? I wore a beanie, I guess you could call it, for a week when I got home from college first semester because my hair was like this, and they were gonna kill me when they found out. So without the edge of having to rebel against anything, you find yourself expressing perhaps the most true version of who you are. And without that edge, without that chip on your shoulder, I don't even know what that fucking noise is. Without that chip on your shoulder, what you have is this beautiful, really kind of rounded and well thought out expression of who you are. Now, it's going to be a little bit noisy and a little bit messy throughout this process. There is a little drilling down that happens here. And it's easy to judge yourself when you go back there and do that drilling down to get to the treasure that you want to keep and, bring with you back to the future. That process is messy because it's hard to go back there and pick up the good stuff without thinking about all the things that you blame yourself for, that you are still holding against yourself. Perhaps there are things in your present that you blame a version of your past self for, and now you got to go back there and make nice with that person because you're in the process of this reinvention, but also this renegotiation with the construct is really important because it's not just about your avatar. Of course, it's important how you show up and who you want to be right now. Of course, that's important. But it's also really important to understand that the terms you set forth right now and what you want out of life, if you want to put it that way, is completely determined on your end by how good or how bad you feel. Right? So what I would say is, do your best to focus on the things right now that make you feel really good, so you can keep yourself from as much judgment as possible when you dip into the past to pick up whatever it is that you're picking up. A lot of it is aesthetic. When you're back there doing that, be as kind to yourself as you can. Because if you get angry, if you start blaming and shaming, if you start pointing fingers, if you start doing the things that we do when we think we're better than everybody and when we think we know more than everybody, if you start doing that, you start to actively take away from just a mountain of blessings that are trying to pour down on you. You really have things set up so well, but that ability to fuck it up completely is always there with you when you decide that you're better than somebody else. It is really the only quality within you that is detestable. Everything else with Pisceans is just wonderful. You guys are absolutely wonderful people, and you know it. But many of you have this ability to be very decent and at the same time wholeheartedly bigoted. Class, race, doesn't matter. Belief system, beauty, it could be style, it could be, there is this need within you to compartmentalize and to rank and judge. And it's the most ugly when you turn it on yourself, and when you turn it on your past self as that South Node, right? As that South Node shines, you are asked to be your highest self, your best self, your strongest and most mature self, which means no pointing fingers, no telling people what to do. If you're already in a couple and you're lying to yourself because you think the best thing to do is to stay together for the children, you are absolutely mistaken. And I think you should rethink it and really be honest with yourself. Maybe have some hypothetical conversations in your mind's eye with the adult versions of your children so they can scream at you and tell you that they don't want you to stay for them. They don't want you to stay for them. They would really, really like it if you left for you. So whether it's a marriage or a job you can't stand or a friendship where the bitches just keeps fucking whiling every time you turn around, she's saying some crazy shit to you. Whatever it is, your loved ones from your children on down, they're gonna tell you, hey, it's time to maybe cut that shit loose. That person, that friend, that job, that loved one, that way of thinking, you've got a way out of it right now. You got a get out of jail free card right now, but you got to know it's in your pocket so you can use it, right? Time to move on. If you're in a relationship only for the children, like I said, then it's only going to be good when you're only talking about the children. Just remember that. Now, on the 19th, we have Venus moving into Virgo. Until the 19th, Venus is in Leo. When Venus moves into Virgo and it opposes your natal sun, we will see very quick healing, communication, investment, good luck, and of course, some good love. The 19th is shaping up to be a beautiful day where a lot of damage done, at least over the last year, but I would say longer than that, can be sorted and healed and dealt with. And not just are you doused in alcohol, your wounds are stitched and bandaged up, you also get a lifetime supply of gauze. Gauze, the word that comes from a place called Gaza that has existed for thousands of years. Okay. Now, that means that after the 19th, you're done with the heartache. 3 of Swords, fuck out of here. You said I want some fulfillment, I want some love, I want some balance, I want some fucking stability. You can't just come to me with one of these things. You could be charming, but I hope you're joking when it comes to providing or making money. I hope you're joking. I hope you're joking. What am I doing here? Sorry, I'm trying to pick up these cards. I'm trying to make a point. Pisces is past it. Pisces says no more honey without the money. I know you say you love me. I know you're attracted. Everybody says they love me. Everybody's attracted. I need some grown up love. Grown up times, grown up love. You want to feel seen and heard, of course, but you want the person who sees you and feels you and hears you to hear and feel and see that you're saying you want fucking stability. I'm sorry. No, because motherfuckers be like, you want to be seen, I see you, I feel. No, you don't. You don't see me, because what I'm saying is pay my fucking rent. Mortgage, whatever you got going on. You know what I mean? All right. Over the eclipse time, you may have been thinking to yourself, Why? Only to turn you away from the past. That's why. Only to put you into the future. That's why. Only so you will stop being sentimental about the past. That's why. Because with that sentimentality comes negativity too. You just don't realize that it's there. But there's negative associations with all that shit that you remember, all that shit that you romanticize. When you get done with this life here and you're in your life review and they show you all the different bullshit attempts you made at romanticizing people's fucked up behavior, you're gonna cringe. And when you're there having that lifetime review, I would like you to turn to the angel next to you and say, Umber told me this was gonna happen. It's crazy because that bitch is annoying. So, be the adult, baby. Do the adult things. It's not being boring. It's not being boring. Jupiter is in a water sign. You're not boring. You're just going to do the right things. You're going to be an adult. And if you want to do something exciting at the same time, you know what I would do if I were you? I would learn a language. I would learn a new skill. I would go get some fucking AI certification that means fucking nothing, but it makes the corporate yahoos go insane. Do something for you that makes you feel even better than you already feel about yourself. Physical stuff, spas, hair, nails, whatever the fuck, facials, don't get a fucking chemical peel no matter what. Whatever. Do what you have to reinforce to yourself that you are in fact the shit. And then, instead of looking back like you were during the eclipse and going, oh my God, is this all there is? Oh my God, I can't believe I've been through this. Oh my God. Instead, you're going to pour into yourself. You're going to keep learning. Pick up some new certifications, a language, a behavior course, whatever you want to do. And use it to show yourself that you are more than willing to make the time and make the effort to put yourself first and invest in yourself and beautify yourself and make yourself more intelligent. Make the effort week by week, day by day, that shows your subconscious that you are in fact always making an effort to make yourselves better. Because when you're in that zone, you know what you don't do is get stuck on some piece of shit who can't even swim. Really? Y'all be getting obsessed with people who are afraid of water. I don't know how many Pisceans I've met who have a partner that can't swim or is afraid of water. And I'm like, now, also, a little mention here. There is a big focus on education all around for you, whether it applies to you, your kids, you and your kids, your partner, your friends. It's time to get smarter. Everybody's getting dumb. You get smarter. Go take a course, go buy some books, go invest some time, put your kids in some, activity that teaches them physics at 5. I don't know, whatever you want to do. I mean, Curious George used to teach children about math and physics, but I think PBS is in hell somewhere now. Be an intellectual, not just for the season, for the fall. You can decide again at New Year's if you want to, be hot mermaid bimbo or whatever suits you. For now, no offense, this look is literally called hot mermaid bimbo, no offense. But for now, let's be intellectuals, let's be adults, let's be super smart, classy. We're up on the know, we're savvy. We know all the preschools where the kids are going, you know? We know what the latest water bottle, which one is the best for the gym. Not that you have to do any of those things, you're just caught up on everything. You're smart. You're debating whether they should go to a Montessori or not. You're smart. You're smart. You're putting your energy into the right things, which makes you appear, at least for a season, like an adult. You can always opt out of this, and you know that. And you will, and we all know that, and that's okay. But this is where we are right now. And I, for one, love temporary permanence. So I'm with you. Now, you may also have been feeling, for a while now, that you want to stand out more. You're not getting the hits like you should. You're not getting the views like you should. I want more than this. This isn't small. This is too small for me. Where's the big shit? Where's the big shit? Like this shit? I think, homie, you gotta relax to get that shit. And you know what the best way is to relax about something? Think about something else. You know what the best way is to push something away and make sure you never get it? Ever, ever, ever? Keep thinking about it. Instead, today, the sun meets the south node and you can shine. You can start shining from right now. You don't have to be codependent with a motherfucker ever again. You see some difficulties, you see some procedural issues with people, you see people who are being inconsiderate, you see people aren't doing things the way they're supposed to. That's okay. You are lucky in love, lucky in life, and you have no problem telling people the truth. You are blessed. Okay? How do I say this? You may wholeheartedly have believed before September began that there was something fundamentally askew and flawed now in how we meet people, how we get into relationships, how we fall in love, how we stay in love. You have spent, if not the past year, then 2 years thinking, you know, things aren't the way they used to be, so there's really nothing to be done. I can't really work on something that can't be fixed. Over the next 7 days, you will see how you were very wrong about this. You will not have to turn to any existing infrastructure to help you be in the right place at the right time, or have the guts, or have the right body, or have the right words. Things will happen organically as they have always happened, no matter what anybody tells you about it. Okay? Now Mars is in Libra until the 22nd. But that tower moment that we just picked up on, that begins on the 15th. And you know what I would do if I were you? To deal with this, let me start from what I have written here. Mars is in Libra until the 22nd, at which time it will move into fellow water sign Scorpio. I don't have that written here. I'm looking for something else. Now, on the 15th, that's what I was looking for. There's a Mars-Venus sextile. Very important. It's a very important time for you. You can resolve big, small, embarrassing, emotional, romance-related issues. What you don't want to do is ask any personal questions that are none of your business. Remember, when people, dogs, countries quarrel over what they're entitled to, limits become, very strong boundaries, and people have a tendency to fight with you even if there's nothing to fight about because you've pushed them. Okay, so you're going to avoid asking for any information you are not entitled to. You will not be gambling. You will not be just giving away money. Don't play the fucking lotto. Don't drink alcohol. Don't go party. This is not the time. Right now is the time. Save your money. Keep your brain as chill and as even keeled as you can. And also understand that, especially when Mars is in Scorpio and Jupiter is in Cancer, you are so activated with this glow up, very wholesome energy that just wants to rebuild you from the inside out. Take purposeful advantage of this by not allowing yourself to dwell in the past, by not ruminating, by not still playing some weird blame shame game with yourself or with others. Like, if she had just not, then I would be here, but if I had just not, then I would be here. Railing against your own fate, railing against the timeline that was obviously created for you is a fool's errand. It is completely foolish, without any meaning, and it doesn't even make you feel better. Okay? For the next 3 months at least, let yourself live that luxury, soft, sweet life where you do as much of what you can as possible and you ignore and outright cut out anyone who just can't see you have a good time. Now, when it comes to Saturn coming back around, I'd like to use the movie tarot to look at that, and then we're going to look not just at Libra season, but more into October in the extended, which is available below. And then it's your Halloween reading, and I'm so fucking excited. All right, we have here with Saturn coming back around, we have the World and the Tower. Everything you learned when Saturn was in your sign is now going to be tested, and you're going to have to withstand that test, and that test is going to create several tower moments in your life. Aided on, of course, by Mars. Aided on, of course, by Jupiter and Saturn. But you know what? If you can make the changes, if you can ask yourself the very hard-hitting question, did you learn anything? Maybe you can get AP credit for doing your life review while you're still alive. It's like not checking a bag at the airport. You just breeze right through. Come on, it was a little bit funny. Did you learn anything, Pisces? That's all Virgo and Libra season want you to answer. Did you learn anything? Virgo's like, did you learn anything the way I learned things? The South Node Virgo Sun conjunction today is like, did you learn things the way I learned them? Do you know them how I know them? You know what I would do if I were you? So don't let anyone take your autonomy. Don't let anyone detract from your shine, not for 1 second. Because you are a glorious creature. And anyone who can't see that is an absolute fool. Love you. I'll see you in the extended. Oh,